Color Me You is a movie about a young art prodigy, Catherine Abernathy, whose parents are lawyers, and she must be focused on studying law because of the legacy of her family. This is not what Kat wants. Kat had always wanted to paint, but her overbearing mother, Vanessa, wonders how she would pay the bills with what she calls finger painting. Vanessa also wants to push her daughter because she failed her own father, Richard, by not finishing law school. Kyle, Kat's father, is the only one who supports her art, but her grandfather doesn't like it one bit. Kat is upstairs while her parents are hosting a party on her behalf. She is painting in her room. Vanessa and the other rich guests tease other families who flunked out of college, mocking Tiffany. Vanessa goes to get her daughter when everyone keeps asking for her. Kat is covered in paint, and her mother is disgusted by it. She complains that she looks like a complete mess. Kat tries to put her attention on the painting, but instead Vanessa keeps talking about her appearance, castigating her that she is not 12 years old. Vanessa pushes her to clean up and dress up. Kat changes into great attire, and they go downstairs to greet the guests. Upon her arrival, everyone cheers. They are pleased that she is following in her footsteps and has a lot to live up to. She would be a third-generation lawyer. They notice her hands are smeared with paint, and her father Kyle talks about how good she is. Her grandfather gives a toast. He is very proud of her and can't wait for her to join them at the firm. Kat is not happy. After the celebration, Vanessa complains to Kyle that her father was once again shading and criticizing her for not finishing law school. She cries that he must think she is an idiot. She also talks about Kat and how she made the gathering a disaster by coming in there with her hands covered in paint. Kyle tells her that Richard was not being hard on her. Vanessa believes that he is taking her father's side. He asks her if she has ever looked at her work, and she says that her future is set, and she needs his support. She hates when the subject of art comes up. Kyle doesn't want to fight, so he drops the subject. Kat is taken to college by her family. Although she doesn't want to study pre-law, she is being forced to. On her way there, she remembers the boat that her family went on. She tells her father that she painted it last night, and then says it's not very good when Kyle wants to see it. Instead of her mother telling her that everything is okay, she agrees with it, and says that they must focus on the future. She has to learn pre-law and live up to the family name. They arrive in her suite, where they meet her outspoken and fun roommate, Sarah Summers. Sarah is also studying law. She is drinking vodka with orange juice when the family shows up. She stands up to greet Vanessa and Kat. Vanessa notices that she has been drinking, but it is only a little. Vanessa tells her that mimosas are meant for the morning, and screwdrivers in the afternoon. Vanessa picks up a law textbook and tells Kate she has to read it. Kat notices that they know each other and asks about what is going on. Vanessa tells her daughter that her grandfather assigned Sarah to be her roommate. He invested in her living arrangement. Kat questions whether Kyle knew anything about it, but he can't say anything. Vanessa and Richard are serious about her life at the university. When Kat's parents leave, Sarah guesses that she is an only child, and also knows how it is to live with an overbearing mother. She assures her that Richard didn't want her to live with someone crazy. Sarah promises that they will have a good time. They both go to a class, criminal law, where Professor Brian Douglas starts to teach. Douglas went to school with her father and mother. Sarah is having trouble concentrating in class, so she asks her for the last thing he said, but Kat is not focusing. She is doodling a picture of Professor Douglas. Kat notices it and commends her that she is good. Professor Douglas catches them and scolds Kat for drawing him like that. She notices that she is a Dongan and won't take it easy on her just because she is law royalty. She remarks that she has her father's last name, Abernathy. He tells her that the reason she is here is because of her last name. He asks her a question from the Maddow case that he has been talking about for the last 5 minutes. Sarah tries to defend herself, but he stops her. He asks them to pay attention, or to never come back to his class. After the class, Kat and Sarah leave together, talking about how Professor Douglas was hard on them. Sarah decides to go and get coffee, while Kat wants to take a walk around campus. She tries to make friends, but people are very busy. She sees an artist painting and gets intrigued. Sarah joins her and says that the guy is terrible, and she should give him some pointers. Kat fights for his art, and mentions that each painting is different. It means something to each person. It's like the brush talks about each battle they have been through. Sarah sees how passionately she talks about art, and asks her if she is cut out to be in law school. Sarah decides to leave the suite, while Kat approaches the man and commends his color choices. He mentions that he is just doing an assignment for the art class that he is in. He considers it not special, but she wants that life, to be able to create art freely. Kat walks around and sees a glass art ornament shop. She is amazed by everything inside, including the glass chandelier. She mistakenly knocks over a glass ornament. Eric Sinclair, the owner of the store, comes out. She apologizes profusely and tries to pick up the glass. She notices his hostility towards her when he tells her that everything has been sold. He leaves because he has a lot of work to do. She feels guilty about what she did. While studying for her law assignment, she sees her easel and decides to check through it. Sarah, who is dressed in party clothes, asks her if she wants to come with her to the party. Sarah asks her why she doesn't sign her artwork, like other artists do. Kat has never sold her art, and never thought that she should. After all, it isn't going anywhere until she decides the world sees it. Sarah tries to convince her to come to the party, even though she has a paper due on Monday. She says that they will be cute guys, but Kat doesn't want to go. She tells her to take a shot for her at the party. Kat stays back to paint. Her mom starts to video call her. She lies that she is working on a paper. Sarah comes into the room, hammered, and joins in the call. She unknowingly tells her how serious she is about painting. Vanessa realizes that she is lying and chastises her for doing so. She tells her that she needs to focus on law and not on art. After the phone call, Kat wants to scold Sarah for spilling her secret, but she is already passed out on the couch. Kat helps her to take off her shoes and puts the trash in front of her in case she wants to throw up. At home, Richard confronts Vanessa and asks if the past is repeating itself. He wonders if Kat will turn out like her mother. Vanessa convinces him that she is under control. Richard worries that she will act out and says he is not ready to be a great-grandfather. Kat wakes up and sees Sarah is still sleeping. She wants to use the quiet time to leave and check around the campus. Sarah wakes up and catches her tiptoeing. Kat lies that she wants to get coffee and Sarah wants to go with her. They drink coffee. Sarah babbles about the man who walked her to her car when she was drunk and didn't try to do anything to her. Sarah hopes that she will come out with her again. Kat notices Eric come into the coffee shop and tries to hide her face. Sarah notices that she knows the guy and asks her about him. She admits that she broke some things from his glass art shop. She believes that she is not his biggest fan after what happened. Sarah wants Kat to live and not be alone with cats. Kat promises that she will take a chance when another opportunity comes up. They see an art festival, and she doesn't want to go, but Sarah decides that they should do it. They sign up at the front desk. Sarah leaves because the man from the previous night wants to see her, so Kat decides to go through it alone. Lena, an art student, tells her not to worry about anything. Kat decides to enter the drawing competition. The instructor tells them to draw what they feel, and to also make the audience feel. She worries that she cannot do it, because she has never done anything before. Lena advises her to draw what the heart wants. She begins to imagine herself on a boat as a child with her father. She recalls her father saying that he would name his boat Ambria Bella, which means Golden Beauty. She draws the boat on the easel after being inspired. Lena commends her on the masterpiece. Kat roams through the festival by herself and bumps into Eric again. He is surprised to see her and says that she didn't strike him as the artistic type. She tells him that's why she came into his shop that day. She hopes that he won't tell her to leave, like the last time. He jokes that he won't, unless she doesn't break anything. She feels bad, and he apologizes for being rude the last time they met. He asks that they should start over. The drawing competition announcement begins, and she wins first place for her art. They don't know who made it, so they ask the audience. Shy, she raises her hand and comes on stage. She has won a free art class from the art teacher and enthusiast James Zorn. She lies that her real name is Ambria Bella, and then signs her name on the painting. She goes back home and sees her mother. Vanessa wants to see if she may want to catch dinner with her. She questions her about the paper in her hands. She tells her that it is not very important. Kat tries to hide it, but her mother gets a hold of it. Angered that she is focused on art, Vanessa rips up the certificate. Vanessa thinks that she is not there for fun and is not supposed to screw things up. She leaves, angry. Sarah apologizes for not telling her about her mother's visit quickly, but she tried to call her. Kat understands, because her phone was off. Sarah knows that she is upset by what her mother said, and tells her that it is a big deal and she shouldn't listen to her mother. Kat puts the ripped paper pieces into the trash can. Sarah decides to help her glue the certificate back. Kat wakes up to see it in her room and is thankful that Kat did it. She lets her know that she won her art class with James Zorn, but she can't take it because she has a class with Douglas at the same time. At Professor Douglas's class, Kat complains about it being boring and stands up to leave. The professor is confused by her abrupt exit. Kat steps out of the class without an explanation, removes her shoes, and begins to rush to James's class. She sees James and apologizes that she had to work around her schedule. He believes her name is Ambria Bella. He tells her not to worry about showing up, because the class is full. He withdrew everyone who wasn't present today. She complains about his decision. James, though, lets her know that he doesn't have time for people who don't have art as a priority. She commands him to give her another chance, but he reminds her that she is in no place to make demands. She cries that she ran out of her professor's class to be there, and begs her to let him in. He tells her that she is gifted and talented, and it's not something he tells people all the time, so he decides to give her another chance. He tells her to show up tomorrow and shouldn't come in late. She arrives the next day. He glances at the clock and sees that it's a few minutes past 2. She shows him her time, which is exactly 2 o'clock. Impressed, he tells her to focus and start drawing. At the end of the class, James tells them that they will reconvene in 2 days to critique the artwork. Lena is glad to see Kat and says that she belongs there and should always keep it up. James approaches and talks about her painting. He doesn't believe that it is good enough. He tells her that the drawing is scared, afraid, and insecure about everything. She worries that she may not be able to draw from the heart again. He tells her she must be able to take risks and to show vulnerability. He wants to teach the person who can do things without being afraid. To help her out with inspiration, he invites her tomorrow for the museum exhibition and puts her on the guest list. He also hopes that it will be an opportunity to meet other people like her. Sarah meets her at home, checking out formal dresses for the exhibition. Sarah wants to come, but Kat doesn't think it's a great idea. She feels that Sarah would blow her cover. Before she goes, Sarah advises her to take a shot to make herself comfortable. At the art show, James commends her for looking great and shows her a piece of his art. She tells him that the bright colors bring attention to the subject and uses 3 colors that most artists wouldn't use. Eric shows up, and she is surprised to see him. He commends her for her art piece for the art festival. He believes her work is impressive. He was one of the judges who chose the winner, but he had no idea that it was hers. James decides to leave her in good company with Eric and tells her to have fun and loosen up. Kat admires that he is a real artist and loves that he gets to do what he loves. He retorts that if she truly wants it, she could find the courage to do the same. They look at a painting and critique it, then chat about his glass art and how he loves to mold things with his hands. At the end of the night, he decides to walk her home and asks her if she could drop by the art shop tomorrow. She agrees, and he kisses her on the cheek. She goes back to James's art class and paints very well. Lena commends her for her painting. James checks it out and sees that Ambria showed up and her work is incredible. He asks her about her style. She answers that she doesn't know and is working on it. He believes that she can tune out the noise and be present. She asks him when he knew he was making the right decision, and he answers that he knew he didn't care about other people's thoughts and opinions. Kat knows that she is at her happiest when there is a paintbrush in her hands, so she decides that she will finally do what she wants and start painting. In the night, she meets up with Eric and they start to dance. While dancing, they share their first kiss. Kat starts her new life as an artist, under the pretense of Ambria Bella. She begins to hang out with Lena and Eric, and is also painting more. Her art friends don't know that she is Kat, or that she is supposed to be doing law. She ignores calls from her mother. Sarah notices her different attitude, and tries to talk to her about it. She reminds her that she missed her law class once again. Kat assures her that she is fine, and is just living life. Eric and Kat talk about art. She mentions that Lena got a job at the art gallery, and they will be putting up some of her works for the exhibition. She is compiling her art portfolio. She asks him what he would be if he wasn't an artist, but he says that he cannot imagine being a man who works a 9-to-5 job. She answers that she would be a lawyer. Eric cannot stand lawyers, after they took away his family business from him when his parents passed. He calls them professional liars, and she claims that they are good ones. He asks her to name one, and she mentions her grandfather's name. He tells her that Richard was the one who took everything from him. She is scared that he already hates her family, and she cannot come clean to him about who she really is. He would never forgive Richard for raising the rent and ruining his life. During Thanksgiving, Kat comes home to her family. Richard asks her about the class on pre-law and what she has learned so far. Vanessa claims that Kat has been working hard and needs to have a break. Richard annoys her by saying that an idle mind is the devil's workshop. Kat says that she is learning to put her priorities in mind. Kat decides to bring up Eric Sinclair. Richard claims that Eric didn't know about the business, and Kyle helped him to kick him out. Kat is upset that he kicked an innocent person out. Richard tells her a story that it is important to not work for free. She has bills to pay. Sarah recognizes Lena on campus and asks about Kat. Lena is confused by the name, and Sarah shows her a picture of Kat. Lena calls her Ambria instead. Sarah immediately knows that Kat is living a double life. Kyle is at an auction, where he sees the painting by Ambria Bella. He immediately wants to buy the art. James mentions that he wants to get the art for a friend, but Kyle wants the drawing too. He bids on the painting for $1,000. Vanessa tries to call her daughter, but she doesn't pick up. Kyle shows up with the painting at home. Vanessa complains about her daughter ignoring her. Kyle tells her that she is only becoming independent and wants to be alone. Vanessa is just worried about her and if she is doing the right thing. James announces to his art class that the semester is coming to an end and they should put up their portfolio. James asks Kat to stay behind so that they can talk. They are having an art exhibition next week, and they would love to use her art as the main attraction. She is thrilled that her art is getting recognition. He mentions that her work was bought by someone else at the auction, but she can create more. She is thrilled that someone bid over $1,000 for her art. James congratulates her for the rare opportunity. Kat gets home to Sarah to tell her about the news. Sarah confronts her about the change of name. She saw the signature on her artwork and accuses her of living a double life. Sarah realizes that Kat doesn't want her to hang around her friends because she is worried that Sarah might blow her cover. Kat believes that she is just trying to be an artist. Sarah supports her, but asks her about her mother. Her lies may hurt Eric and also ruin her chances in the art exhibition. She leaves for her room, upset that Sarah doesn't understand her situation. Kat can't tell anyone about who she is because it would not help her. Professor Douglas realizes that Kat hasn't been in class, so he summons Sarah to ask about her. Sarah only tells him that Kat has been busy. He worries that she may have been experimenting socially. Douglas decides to call Vanessa to let her know about everything concerning her daughter. During the art exhibition opening, Kat decides that she wants to come clean to Eric, but he refuses to hear anything. He wants her to enjoy her night, claiming they can talk later. Vanessa spies on them and waits for the right opportunity to confront her daughter. When she wants to strike, an artist whisks her away, thinking that she is a very important art personality. She is infuriated watching them kiss. James commends Kat on her hard work and tells her that the gallery wants to buy her painting. She is very excited. Sarah shows up, hammered, and pretends that she is her sister. Eric is confused because Kat didn't tell him that she had a sister. Sarah laughs and tells him that there is a lot that he doesn't know about her. James begins to introduce Kat as the best artist in his class, and Vanessa finally speaks up about her lies. They are all confused. Vanessa tells them that her real name is Catherine, and she is a lawyer. Realizing that the charade is over, Kat cries. Eric recognizes the last name and scolds her for lying to him. He tells her that she is just like her grandfather. He leaves abruptly, and Kat tries to follow her, but Vanessa drags her into the car. In the car, Vanessa yells at her for throwing away a great opportunity. She tells her that she cannot get out of law school, because Richard would not let her hear the end of it. Vanessa is upset that she lost focus over a boy, and hopes that the Christmas break will help her get over Eric, and over the whole art situation. Over the holiday, Kat visits the boat with her father, and she confides with him about her art. She hates herself for not living up to their expectations, but she wants to paint. Kyle has always been supportive and tells her that she doesn't need to worry. He knows how good she is. He bought her painting and is proud of her. He tells her that Vanessa is only worried because of public appearances and also what her father would think. Nobody else should matter but her dreams. Vanessa tells Kat that she will be an intern for her father's firm, and Kat refuses. She breaks the news to her mother that she will be doing art. This results in another heated argument where Kat ends up warning her mother that she can either support her or disown her. She doesn't care about the plans she or Richard have for her. She leaves for her room, and Vanessa confronts Kyle for taking his daughter's side. He reveals to her that he is leaving her father's practice to start his own. He wants to start a pro bono firm to help people. Vanessa threatens him that if he does, she will divorce him. Kyle, though, doesn't care anymore. He tells her that he loves her, but he doesn't know who she is anymore. She is not the woman he fell in love with. He and Kat deserve to be happy. He scolds her for not knowing that her daughter was the one who painted the art piece he brought home. Vanessa cries as she holds the painting in her hands. Back on campus, Kat meets Sarah, who is also upset with her. Kat apologizes to her for everything, and says that if not for her pushing her to do the art festival, she wouldn't have got this far. They quickly make up. Kat decides to see Eric to apologize for everything, but Eric is still upset and won't listen to anything she says. She apologizes for not being honest. She says that everything else was real to her. He doesn't believe her. She gives him a painting of both of them, but he spitefully tells her that it is trash, just like her family. James is checking out the art when Eric shows up. James knows that Kat is hurt. He doesn't think that she lied. He believes that she was always Ambria Bella. She is sweet, fun, and talented, and also loves him so much. James knows that she was also concerned about what her family would think, and that's why she lied. He was also upset with her for lying, but understands her after he saw the way Vanessa treated her. He tells Eric that he needs to forgive her and remind himself of the reasons he loves her. Kat is home with her father during Christmas and checks out the Christmas tree. She hears a knock and goes out to see who it is. A present is on the door. She opens it to see the glass heart-shaped art ornament that she loves. Eric steps out of hiding. He says that the customers can have anything else, but not this, because she loves it. He hopes that she can forgive him. He tells her that he loves her deeply and he was wrong to judge her for her family. They quickly make up and seal it with a kiss.